Here's a secret. Price doesn't move. It's pulled. I'm about to show you the invisible price magnets that dictate where price will go before it gets there. This isn't a strategy. It's a fundamental law of the market. So watch closely as I reveal every detail. Here's something that might blow your mind. You've probably been staring at charts for hours, trying to figure out where price will move next. The mistake most traders make is thinking price moves randomly. They see a candle go up, so they buy. But here's what's really happening. Price doesn't move randomly at all. It gets pulled to certain levels, just like a magnet pulls metal. So from now on, I want you to stop trying to predict where price will go. Start looking for where price wants to go. These magnetic levels are already there on your chart. You just need to know what to look for. Here's the technique. Look for levels where price keeps coming back to the same spot over and over. That's your magnet. When price approaches that level, it will either bounce away like opposite poles of a magnet, or it will break through if the pull is weak. Let me show you this on a real chart. Watch what happens when price approaches this level. See how it gets pulled in. That's not coincidence. That's thousands of traders all watching the same level, creating real magnetic force. Your entire perspective just shifted. While others simply guess where price will go next, you now see the invisible forces pulling it around the chart. Let me show you the different types of magnets you'll find. I want you to think of them in two simple groups. First, you have level magnets. These are magnets created by specific prices. Then you have time magnets. These are created by specific moments in time. Let's start with the level magnets. First, old high and low magnets. These are previous tops and bottoms where price turned around before. The market has memory. Price remembers these levels and gets pulled back to them. Look at this chart. See how price keeps returning to this old high. That's magnetic memory. Next, supply and demand zone magnets. These are areas where big buying or selling happened in the past. Smart money left their footprint here. Price often returns to test these zones because that's where the big players made their moves. Previous day and week magnets come next. Yesterday's high and low. Last week's high and low. Traders around the world watch these levels. When that many eyes are on a level, it becomes magnetic. Finally, round number magnets. Prices ending in double or triple zero or 50. Our brains love round numbers, and so do markets. These psychological levels create real magnetic pull. Now let's talk about time magnets. Here we have daily and weekly open magnets. Every day and every week, the market opens at a specific price. These opening levels act as reference points that price gravitates toward. I've seen price travel hundreds of pips just to test a weekly open. The second type is session extreme magnets. These are the highs and lows from Asia, London, and New York sessions. Each session leaves behind magnetic levels that pull price even after the session ends. So instead of seeing hundreds of random levels, you now see 6 specific magnet types. This will make your chart analysis laser-focused and incredibly powerful. Let me show you something most traders never notice. Above every recent high and below every recent low, there are invisible magnets created by other traders' stop losses. The problem is, you probably see these areas as empty space. You don't realize that clustered stop losses create some of the strongest magnetic pull on the chart. Big market players know exactly where these stops are hiding. But imagine if you could see these invisible magnets. Imagine knowing exactly where price wants to go to trigger other traders' stops before making its real move. you'd stop getting stopped out and start profiting from these moves instead. Here's what happens. When price approaches these stop-loss clusters, it gets pulled toward them like a magnet. Price grabs all those stops, then reverses hard in the opposite direction. I call this the liquidity grab trick. The key takeaway is simple. Those stop losses above highs and below lows aren't just orders sitting there. They're magnetic forces pulling price toward them. Once you see this, you'll never look at these levels the same way. I learned this lesson the hard way. Every time I put my stop in the obvious place, price went straight to it, then reversed. I was feeding the magnet without knowing it. So remember this. The market hunts these levels before making bigger moves. And understanding this is the key to everything. It's powerful on its own, but it becomes almost unstoppable when you learn how to spot when multiple magnets overlap at the exact same price, which I'll break down for you in just a bit. Let me show you a situation that happens on every chart. You see a level that looks important, but you're not sure if it's worth trading. The problem is, you can't tell the difference between strong magnets that will hold and weak levels that will break. You end up trading every level the same way, which leads to inconsistent results and frustration. So how do you know if this level is strong? Watch what happens when I show you the magnet strength signals. First signal, the bounce test. Count the bounces. This level has 3 clean bounces. Each bounce proves the magnet is working. 2 bounces minimum makes it worth watching. Second signal, big wicks and quick reactions. See these long rejection wicks? That's the magnet pushing price away with force. Third signal, multiple magnet types overlapping. This level is both an old high and a round number. When different magnet types line up at the same spot, they combine their power. We'll talk about this in a bit. Fourth signal, recency. Recent levels matter more than old ones. A level from yesterday is stronger than one from last month. But don't ignore the old strong levels completely. And a bonus signal, the obvious test. If you can easily see a level on your chart, others see it too. That makes it a strong magnet, because everyone's watching it. Completely different story now. What looked like a random level is actually a super strong magnet, backed by multiple forces. If you're still watching, you're already seeing the market differently than 90% of traders out there. Let me show you something that drives most traders crazy. Look at this price action. Price is moving slowly, barely making progress, just hanging around this level. Most traders see this and think something's wrong. They get impatient and close their trades right before the big move. But watch what I see in the same price action. Price is in the sticky zone near a strong magnet. This isn't a problem. It's the magnet working exactly as it should. Strong magnets don't pull price instantly. They work gradually, drawing price closer with each small move. See how price moves toward the magnet, pulls back slightly, then moves closer again. That's not indecision. That's magnetic attraction working in slow motion. Each wave brings price nearer to the magnetic level. Now watch what happens when price finally breaks free. See that explosive move? That's the moment the magnetic spell breaks. Price runs fast to the next magnet level. The sticky zone just became your friend instead of your enemy. You now understand that slow movement near magnets is actually a bullish sign, not a reason to exit. Here's something powerful. Sometimes you'll find 2 or 3 different types of magnets all lining up at the same price level. A daily open that matches an old high that also sits on a round number. Most traders see this as just another level. They don't realize they're looking at a magnet with triple the pulling power. What I do is hunt for these overlap zones. When different magnet types line up, They create super strong magnetic fields. Price almost always reacts dramatically at these spots. Look at this level. We have an old high, a session extreme, and a round number all within a few pips of each other. That's not coincidence. That's a super magnet. These are the best trading opportunities you'll find. When price approaches a super magnet, get ready for fireworks. I want you to notice something about your own trading. You probably have a better result when you trade obvious levels that lots of other traders see. That's because those obvious levels are the strongest magnets. Sometimes even the strongest magnets break. When this happens, you're seeing one of the most powerful signals in all of trading. Most traders panic when they see a magnet break. They think their analysis failed, and they close their positions at the worst possible time. They see magnet breaks as problems instead of opportunities. I see magnet breaks as powerful breakout signals that lead to explosive moves. When a strong magnet finally gives way, it means the force pushing against it was stronger than all the magnetic pull. That's big money making a big move. The key is knowing the difference between real breaks and fake breaks. Fast breaks with strong momentum usually keep going to the next magnet level. Slow breaks that drift through often get pulled back to the original magnet. Watch this example. Price breaks this magnet fast and hard, then continues straight to the next magnetic level. That's a real break. Compare it to this slow drift that gets pulled back within an hour. You just learned to profit from broken magnets instead of being their victim. Speed tells you everything you need to know about which breaks to trust. Let me show you how simple trading becomes once you understand magnets. Look at this setup. Price is approaching a strong magnet. Most traders would see this and overthink it. They'd add 5 different indicators and try to find the perfect entry. But watch what happens when you keep it simple and just follow the magnetic pull. I buy near the magnet, expecting price to bounce. My stop goes just below the magnet level. My target is the next obvious magnet above. That's it. No complicated analysis needed. See how clean that trade was. The magnet did exactly what magnets do. It pushed price away with force, and we rode the move to the next magnetic level. This is why I love the magnet system. It takes all the guesswork out of trading. You know where to enter, where to exit, and where to put your stops. The magnets tell you everything you need to know. You've just built the foundation for a complete trading system. You now have the knowledge that most traders never discover. You can spot the magnetic forces before price reaches them. You understand why price moves the way it does, instead of guessing like everyone else. The magnet system isn't just theory. It's your new weapon that you can deploy right away. And if you're ready to fit this into a full A to Z trading system, that's what our academy is for. Link is in the description.